Alright, we're back. Live here with more Heaven's Bloom. Let's see if get my keyboard to work. Oh, there we are. Now it doesn't want to listen again. Interesting. No, it's definitely taking my keyboard. Oh, okay. Dirt moment there. Trying to see if the cursor will move, and there's nothing for it to go to, so of course it's not going to go anywhere. Probably haven't messed with any of the extras. Well, for the recording's sake, I suppose I can talk a little bit about that extra bit I put underneath the video, the stream. I've recently finally got around to watching some of 2018's FEE3 stuff. As the blurb mentions, FEE3 is Fire Emblem E3, basically a community event amongst the ROM hacking people for Fire Emblem. Generally the GBA games, but it's not restricted to that. There was a there's at least one Radiant Dawn hack in there that I've seen so far. I haven't watched all of what it has to offer yet, since there was a record, I think 30 something submissions this past year, which was pretty incredible. Combination of all the different people working on different stuff, and also all the people who are in tune with this event and have prepared stuff to share with it. It's pretty amazing and really neat to see what everyone's doing. Content creation is for a fandom that's been getting it's had ups and downs from the original developer. We kind of have a feed of content from Heroes, which is debatable in terms of content. It technically is, but with the silence about Three Houses, it's not hard to want for more. And 2017 was great for getting the launch of Heroes and Echoes, and then starting to build hype for Three Houses, but there hasn't been too much since then. I saw a video recently kind of speculating what's been the silence about Three Houses. There hasn't been anything public, no public statements, teasers, trailers, or even just tweets or anything about Three Houses since the E3 trailer, that was last year's E3, and it already delayed the game from a 2018 release to supposedly an early, like a spring 2019 release. But the fact that we still haven't heard anything makes a lot of people speculate that it probably was not going to be a spring this year release, but maybe more optimistically a fall or end of the year, fourth quarter release, if it's going to still be in this year at all. and some people are getting antsy, to say the least. Though a lot of people, a lot of the more diehard fans are also a little more understanding, especially since we've had not maybe not necessarily in the Fire Emblem franchise, but we've had games that have been rushed out to try to meet a deadline that have just not ended up that good. So there are fans that are pretty okay with um, letting intelligent systems take as much time as they need just to make sure that this end product is the quality we've come to expect from them. I don't think Fates was ever really accused of being rushed out, but it was did leave a lot to be desired from some of the core older fans. And I'm not going to talk too much about that because we just end up recycling arguments and so on, since they obviously haven't changed or fixed anything, because that's not the kind of game that's going to get that kind of treatment, especially now that it's 4 years old now, 4 years old, at least. But there have been interesting fan hacks, which is kind of topical. I remember on Reddit seeing an actual Fates hack they called Good Guy Ganon GGG. Garen, not Ganon. They're kind of similar. Similar names at least. I'm not the first and won't be the last person to mix them up. But it's a rewrite of Fates to make the story more morally gray, make Garen less of a Saturday morning villain, and I haven't exactly followed it since I don't have custom firmware on my 3DS to try it out, but I've peeked in on the Reddit posts as they've made updates here and there, and they've done some really interesting things with the story, which is great. But either way, I'm kind of in the camp there where, as much as I really want Three Houses info stuff to come sooner, I'm also willing to let them have their time that they need to ensure that it's as good as they can make it. Though I certainly wouldn't be opposed to getting another remake Echo in the meantime, but I don't know how many resources that might take from developing the main game. I don't know a lot about IS as a developer as a whole. They're certainly raking it in with Heroes, though. Hopefully IS is getting enough of that to be to put it towards those other developments. I do remember seeing it worded in a way that Nintendo is drawing in the profits from Fire Emblem Heroes. And I think IS is considered a second-party developer. Not entirely sure. But Heroes has had some questionable developments as of late that have been concerning about as far as the general business models and business mindsets recently, but it's kind of another discussion. Bottom line, even if we're not getting a Three Houses release this year, everyone's pretty starved for information about it. It's even just confirming that it's still coming or a more accurate release date. There is a convention, official Fire Emblem convention in Japan in May. That I would bet that is where a lot of the money. That's I'm just starting to talk about. That I'm willing to bet is where we're going to see any new information, if we're gonna get any soon. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is, I believe, as I said, in May, so that's a bit off, bit of a ways to go. Just waiting for Pat, I guess, before launching into the actual hack, since we've got story stuff that I haven't shown off yet. So I haven't seen it either since I stopped. I probably should continue doing the next chapter previews at the end of each night, because it allows me to spend the setup, the intro here while waiting for more people to show up, actually doing the preparations that no one really cares too much to wait through. But anyway, gonna continue watching through the FEE3 stuff. I saw a Radiant Dawn rebalance patch, which seemed interesting. I don't know didn't see quite enough of it to get an overall feel, but the one chapter that was sampled was curious. We'll see. I'm not sure I'm gonna really have a good chance to actually try and play it though, since I did hack my Wii at one point, but I don't think it's still in that state. I think I did update it at one point and get rid of the firmware, and I'm not sure a Radiant Dawn hack that's just a rebalance would be worth trying to delve back into that. But it's still neat to see that kind of stuff is being done. But I did see other GBA hacks that piqued my interests, and I would be interested in bringing them to the stream. I tried Staff of Ages a while back, and I'd be interested in getting the updated version of that once that comes out, and playing that here. There was a completely new hack, original story, that was also built on the FEXNA platform that the Immortal Sword hack developed, which is neat because I liked that platform. It wasn't an actual emulator; it was just a program that was created from the ground up to model the GBA systems, but having a much more robust toolkit to actually work with. If I eventually get to that one, you'll recognize the interfaces from when I played Immortal Sword. What else? There was at least one submission using I don't remember what it's specifically called, but it's a strategy SRPG maker kind of program that was released, that Shozo Kaga's Vesteria saga was built on. That is now actually available to public. I don't know if you have to buy it or if it's actually free, but people have been using that to try to make their own stories and games in a very similar spirit as Fire Emblem. The graphics are different, and may take some getting used to, but a lot of the core mechanics that make Fire Emblem are preserved in this new SRPG maker. So very easy to go in and use that instead of maybe working with from a base FE7, FE8 hack where you have stuff that you have to overwrite and other constraints you have to work from. Breaking away from FE3 for a moment, I've been seeing more news about Wargroove recently, which I've been interested in for a little while since I've learned of it, and renewed since I actually got a Switch. I saw some gameplay actually just earlier this evening, and very Advance Wars like, but with like the kind of medieval fantasy motifs instead of modern stuff. Unfortunately, the person playing the gameplay demo was really bad at it, so I wasn't having some difficulty getting a sense on what the actual difficulty and balance of the game was. But it's something I'd be interested in trying, especially since I've heard it has multiplayer, which I'll definitely try out like the base game before I go and try to sell friends on it. But if it's good, then it could be something interesting to try. There was another video for it that showed it had a surprisingly robust custom campaign and map creator, so you could actually make your own content from within the game, and that could be really interesting too. Okay, got a few more people. Not sure if everyone from our Discord that's coming is here yet. But apparently, like I've seen like three different release dates for Wargroove. I think the gameplay trailer was saying it was supposed to be like later this year. I saw somewhere saying it was supposed to be March, but I think the official website, if that was the official website that I was on, was actually saying February 1st, which is like right around the corner. That's exactly a week from now. So I'll keep an eye on things, and I'll probably pick it up when it's available, whenever that happens to be. Hey, alright, let's get started here. See what this grand city is all about, and promote some people, because I threatened to do so last time and I didn't. Maybe it's because I've been playing this in chunks, but I thought the Fae were the slaves, and the humans were the overbearing masters, and not the humans that being the slaves. Maybe this... you have to specify that. Maybe I do need to replay with more of a... Or maybe just the fact that there is slavery and it's not racially based. That's also a possibility. Though I think part of the confusion is also it's not the story relevant characters, it's not explicit. I don't think it's explicitly um, stated whether they're human or fae or half or whatnot. I thought that there were potentially skin color tells for the fae, but Cassius has a darker skin tone as well, and I don't know if that's supposed to be indicative of something. Oh, there was a text skip there. Oh yeah, we were supposed to be her prisoners. She was sent out to capture us. There's another skip there. If I recall, the ruler of Roosterton and Sacred Stones is a pretty reasonable person himself as well. And actually, I think maybe with the exception of no, I think except for like Carcino because of its being an oligarchy, it was a republic, having multiple leaders. All the leaders in life, I should say, in Sacred Stones are actually pretty reasonable people that unfortunately got matters taken out of their hands despite being royalty. I think everyone here has played Sacred Stones. But Fado was pretty good. He was just ended before he could do much. Haydn was respectfully supportive throughout the entire game. I don't remember Roston's leader's name, but as I said, he was helpful. He actually gave the twins their sacred stone. Johanna's queen, Manzel, yeah, that sounds right. Johanna's queen was, I want to say she was pretty good. She was just, again, killed before she could do much herself in terms of the story. I've seen this guy before. You interjected rather conveniently. Huh. Those two are all of the people of the kingdom. This seems like it's escalating really fast. I do not remember it ever being established that Galea himself followed the Offspring's teaching. Excuse me, one sec. Goes out, makes the proclamation, comes back. It is done. Though he wasn't wrong originally in that saying that this does kind of require a degree of subtlety that I think they might have hit not hit that they should have. This was kind of, as far as like politically goes, this is kind of like pulling a trigger here. Any of the offspring that may have been on the fence, they're going to be forced to sway one way or the other. Yeah, stuff like this happens. He's going to force the offspring to act where they might have just... That kind of happened earlier, didn't it? Different person sending Cassius, but there we go. Okay. Interesting. Generic boss. Another generic boss. This is neat. Multiple bosses are cool. This is actually, story-wise, it's nothing super exciting, but as far as the setup scenario for a chapter, this is actually pretty neat. And sort of thing hasn't really happened. Well, maybe if you count Chapter 8 of Fire Emblem 6, though that was still an organized military coup. Is it that big? It's not that big. It is really dense, though. There are a lot of enemies and a lot of small paths. A lot of stuff going on. More Master Seals. Does everyone have all the bosses have Master Seals? Yeah. I'm not sure I even need any more Master Seals. Light brand. Oh, right there. Alright, well that's basically mine. A random steel axe, okay. Axe Reaver. Level 10 Peg Knight, both with an A rank and lances. Anyway, Dragon Spear. I know that Killing Edge is down below. Cavaliers with light brands. A Horse Slayer. Boss has Purge, but that does appear to be the only Siege Tome on the map, thankfully. Guess I know where I'm hitting up first. I mean, at the same time, I think I'd rather the Siege Tome than like a Berserk Staff. Well, I don't know, I might be able to split my forces, take care of both of them. But I like seeing the broken houses. That lends credence to the atmosphere. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 houses, 4 villages, or I guess houses in this case, since we're in the city, to visit. Lots of drops. If I want to use the armory or vendor, I actually have to beat the bosses off of them, which I think is kind of neat, having that act as like the boss defense tile. Meyer is tricky as always. It's a 1 to 3 range spell, which I guess I'm kind of okay with. So, I do kind of think that magic and bows both kind of need a little more diversity than what the GBA games give them in order to give them better identity. So like the Radiant Dawn hack I was talking about earlier in the FE3, one of the things they did was they drastically diversified spells. So like the Wind Tome was Wind Tome was like 2-3 range, but Elwind was just 3. Fire was like, I think 1 range, 1-2 range as normal, still effective against the use, but then I think Thunder was just 1 range, but had really high might and crit. The Ruin Tome had an aura that gave adjacent allies +5 def res, but like magic has so many different potential effects that having it just do damage all the time is a little boring. Anyway, so far this hack I have not had to I have not been forced to bench anyone. I've actively chosen to do so for a few chapters, but the deployment slots so far have equaled almost exactly my total roster. So I'm a big fan of dancers, and I like giving them extra movement in order to help them reach targets for dancing more readily. I think I'm gonna promote anyone who's level 15, which is like 15 or higher, which is like pretty much almost everyone. certainly no shortage of Master Seals here. As much as I want to give him, the mount, I also want to give him protection against dark magic, which potentially, could potentially be a big deal, since I am expecting to face more monsters in the future. And having access to light magic gives him a little bit more of a buffer against that. Though, let me see. I also going to make Fodra a bishop for the same reason, and I'm gonna have to give her a tome to use. So, JK about giving Cassius that Shine Tome, because he's about to hand it off to his sister. It's not imperative that he has light right this chapter. And unlike the GBA games, Shine is more like an iron weapon in this, whereas lightning has been turned more into a slim weapon, so this is not going to weigh her down. Moving on. Brett, definitely. As much as I love snipers, rangers are infinitely more useful. That's a pretty solid stat spread. Henley is 15. What do I make Henley? Let me actually double check her stats here. She needs speed. Weirdly enough. So no one has particularly good res. Though I'm kind of thinking Taylor might benefit since she has the higher base res from the Falcon Knight promotion. Just because I like having diversity amongst my ranks too. I don't really want to make... And again, I already made Janessa Wyvern Knight. I might have to double check what promotional gains here are too. Check that on my phone so I don't pause the music. But alright, Falcon Knight is +2 to everything except skill, which would help her. And Wyvern Knight is +2 to strength and speed and +1 to everything else. So I'm actually thinking the promotional gains from the Falcon Knight is going to help Henley a little bit more. I'm thinking I've got skills to consider too. Except I don't know off the top of my head what skills both of these get. I believe Falcon Knights get Rally Speed and Lance Fair. I think it's roughly Awakening based, and then Wyvern Knights, I don't know what Wyvern Knights get because they don't have a, they're not in um, Awakening. And I don't know if they still have Pierce. That might just still be in the flavor text. She gets the speed she needs regardless, and she gets the attack she needs regardless. So one of the Falcon Knight actually has better defensive bonuses. Well, I guess I'll go Falcon Knight for both Henley and Taylor. Hopefully it helps their resistance, because I need more res tanks. Marin. I'm actually gonna use up most, if not all, of my Hans, Kina, Marin. I'm gonna stick with the Paladin, just for the movement. He's got more defense than he has strength. That's okay. What was this? Despite having 10 more growth and strength and defense, but he's still a bit on the slow side, but that's okay. Felix can wait, because he... Well, he's got 40% growth and speed. It's just a low base. And yeah, he might not grow significantly in anything. But either way, Hans and Kina first. And that'll use up all my Master Seals. And I might actually go Warrior because I do not have very many bow users. Snipers. Oh, I already distributed a Master Seal to Kina, so I might actually have the one extra. She's so weirdly slow. Like 14 speed. Derek might get passed over entirely just because of these stats. But yeah, maybe I will actually boost up Felix now. I am a little afraid for his usefulness if I leave him as a knight, especially at this stage in the game. He looks awful no matter what, but like, what is going on with that horse? Personal skill, right? It reduces enemy accuracy. Pivot on a great knight. That's going to be interesting. Kanto's good. Natural cover. Still can't use the silver bow. I can give him an iron sword now. Actually, he's got 10 con. I can give him a steel sword instead. He's not going to be slowed down by it. Cassius wants a staff. I don't have much to choose from here. And Taylor's got some good room for growth still, since he's only level 14. And Derek's still only 13 too. Debating giving his Armor Slayer to Kina, but he might need that Armor Slayer to stay relevant this chapter. Do have a Goddess icon to hand out. Now that I'm looking at it, most of my characters have really shitty luck too. What's up with that? Janess is the only one with critically low luck, though. Do I have any other stat boosters? I have an Angelic Robe. Who needs HP? For the most part, everyone's doing pretty alright, actually. Gilbert's actually got the lowest HP amongst the pre-promotes, amongst those people, the promoted characters. He's also falling off stat-wise. Marin's actually eclipsed him at this point. Though his growths are actually pretty solid, so that's kind of funny. Maybe I'll just hold on to the Angelic Robe for now. Inventory for everyone else isn't super great either, but I did get a bunch of vulneraries last chapter, so I can dole those out finally. Not quite enough for everyone, but they're spread out now. Actually, I guess I'll hold on to that. Got an E in swords. Yeah, we'll give him this. What's this? He's got decent skill. We'll give him the steel axe because he's barely slowed down by it, and he's not going to be doubling with that speed anyway. Have any other steel bows? Nope. This will let me Taily, a javelin. Give her the horse slayer too. Alright. I think all of the relevant weaponry has been dispersed now. Finally ready to start this chapter. Oh, we only get 10 turns, huh? So yeah, definitely no dawdling. These guys just barely overlap. Oof, still not strong enough to kill. Meanwhile, Bryant doing work. Alright, Vantage. Then again, that knight might have had Wary Fighter. No, wait, I was doubling, I just didn't have enough power. Wonder if the light brand do better. Maybe not though. Should be better. Yeah, there we go. Actually, that was a kill. I didn't give him a bow. I was gonna give him a bow. I don't need to give him a bow. See, those guys can come through, but they can't reach Derek. But the two mages, only one of which can get to him. However, Kina or whomever comes through here is going to have to deal with Cavaliers. I probably shouldn't send too many more people down there. Cedri's a tank, if I recall. Oh, I have to turn Fordra's animations on. I think it's just... yeah, Aminda is off now, and going to stay off too. Alright. No res still. How much does Purge actually hurt? 21? That's not too bad. But again, no one's got resistance. Marin and Gilbert have a support with each other, so wherever one goes, the other is going to go too. Take advantage of that. This looks like a decent spot to use them. They're gonna get attacked by those... Actually, we've got a sword, an axe, and a lance, so whoever goes in there is gonna be at a disadvantage against someone. Oh wait, well, yeah. Oh, no, can't. Oh, we've got wall that can't be flown over. I mean, it's working to my advantage this time, so I can't complain too much, but I don't exactly agree with that design. Which means I do want to have a sword equipped. There's not a meaningful difference in power there. I have to finish these two off from afar. One of them's gonna get hit by a Purge anyway. So these guys can't go directly. Then it's reasonably safe to do this, unless she misses. Thanks, RNG. Fortunately, that's still just the Purge Tome. And I've got a Dancer with the Physics Staff. Alright, Aminda is just out of range. So the Shaman up above with the Mire probably is going to go after Aminda, but it's because she's got 5 res. That means she won't be able to double. He won't be able to double team with the boss. So we should be good on that front. Actually, should start working on those Peg Knights as well. As long as that's 10. Here. Out of range of the Purge. In range to counterattack the Peg Knight. Marin doesn't have much resistance, however, he does have a big enough HP pool to tank the full Purge spell, and it won't kill him. Was a little concerned on this front. We'll see what happens. He's going after Gilbert. Ouch. Alright. Kina might be dead. And that definitely would have been my bad. Cool. Yeah. Alright. So let's not overextend down there this time. Though otherwise the first turn was pretty solid. Do this instead. Remember Brayet being able to take care of this guy by himself. Kina died, if you missed that. Though I reloaded the save state. Overestimated her avoid, especially since I did just finish explicitly saying she's a lot slower than I expected her to be. Though I did miss my opportunity to give Hans a bow, like I said I wanted to. Can do. I still kind of want her up there. I don't need her. on speed. 12 at 10. 909. And you have 11, 3, 9. Okay, so as long as I'm not getting doubled, I should be okay. That is out of range of you still. Hans is going to be weapon disadvantage against this guy, but he's sturdier overall, but not necessarily against magic. And still end up dancing forward right here. So that's something I can afford. 21, 7, 20, 11, 7, 11. Is 18. 25. Still have some questionable decisions in this one, but we'll see. With the hand axe equipped, these mages should probably attack Felix instead of Hans, leaving Hans to only have to worry about the two cavaliers, one of which can reach Kina, but no one else can, so she should be okay. Especially if the steel sword attacks first, the steel sword will then block out the short spear. Unfortunately, Fordra's in a little bit of danger here. All three of these guys can attack her, and if they all hit, then she would die. So I'm gonna do some rescuing here. Alright, so the knight's gonna block off the cavaliers, both of those cavaliers from approaching. I unfortunately will not have those two damaged on this turn like I did last time, but okay. That's the same. Missed this time though, which is good. This is mostly the same. Basically, after this turn, most of the north will be cleared out already. Right. Okay. Ugh. Still frustrates me a little bit that I don't get res, but the enemy does. Can I actually... I was wondering if I could actually pick off the boss in this turn using like a flyer. How viable would that be? If I can clear the rabble, I can make an attempt. I would need to... two enemies can attack the far side. But I wouldn't have to worry about the Myrmidon. So like here, basically just have a short spear in the mire. I am just in longbow range here, which I will definitely take advantage of. You're in hand axe range, so I don't necessarily have to deal with you with a flyer. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to clear through all of these enemies. Might as well let Derek take care of the armor knights. Speed. Before I get too far. Don't even need the armor slayer for that. Now I gotta see what I can do with Felix. Can I one-shot? Oh, he's already damaged, so that's another easy mark. Felix is probably gonna be good for that. Okay. 12 and 13 is 25. So as long as I kill one of these two. That is a bulky mage. He's got 32 HP. Just noticed. Unfortunately, because of my positioning with Derek, I can't throw something at this Peg Knight anymore, which means I do have to use a flyer to kill him. They're on the move, but won't reach me until after next turn. Box this guy in, though he can still hit Felix. And I don't think I'll be able to take out or even damage that boss this turn, because I have 6. I've got 6. Oh, I've got 6 and 6, minus my 2 flyers. And these guys are all uninjured so far. So they're gonna be. I can one-shot you. You're barely injured. Take care of this. I'm not exactly retreading new old ground here anymore, so I can turn animations back on. Not fast enough on either account, unfortunately. Yeah. Exactly enough damage to kill. I'm 1 damage short on being able to kill there. This could work, though. This sets up Janessa to be able to harass the boss next turn. Meanwhile, I'll let Taylor take out this Peg Knight. Taylor is now 15. Good strength. She's actually got a really solid spread. Offensive spread. And no slouch in defense either. Her HP is a tad low but that's mostly just because she's unpromoted still. I never gave Henley a sword either. The D, but it's really weighs her down. Gilbert can actually kill this guy. Gilbert being able to one-round anyone is something worth taking advantage of. So there's 1. He definitely needs healing. Sedri probably doesn't. Taylor needs healing, but can wait until next turn. Cassius is okay. Though, unfortunately, I did end up activating Focus. So I am going to have to hope he doesn't randomly crit someone. Unless I go down and... that's not really any better. We'll see. Famous last words, right? Don't want to use the Killer Lance too much. It's like 69 versus 70 something, though. 77. It's just gonna be, she's gonna need healing. No difference in accuracy. And the Iron Lance isn't strong enough. Yeah, I figured she was gonna get hit. Though she can tank the Purge, because its maximum attack is still lower than her total remaining HP. Gilbert's not so much. I guess I should use Fordra here, because I need Cedri to do healing. Fordra's not in any danger from the Purge Tome either. Maybe I can eat. Actually, dance Janessa. Take out that mage down there. Using Chrysalis. Oof. 10 crit. But only 10 damage. Hoodless mage. And then just heal Gilbert. I just need the boss to not, the Purge Tome to not crit. I did not notice that there was a alley down there for the Cavaliers to come through. But it's okay, I just deal with them sooner rather than later. Heck, I could just barricade them off a bit here. They can move through ruins, but they can't move much through ruins. What do they have? A Horse Slayer, Lightbrand, and Lightbrand. All right, that's a little bit trickier to deal with, especially since I'm still not 100% sure of the Lightbrand's damage formula. Let's see. I get lucky. Yes. Good. Ah, miracle. Right? Yeah, it's a little bit of a wrench. Actually, there's no real reason I have to barricade up here anyway. I can pull everyone back a bit. Okay. So this is safe there. That's a lot more favorable. And that's only in range of the Meyer tone. So I just need to rescue Henley and get her out of there. Not using that path though. Keeps the support on Gilbert. Yeah, I can make them kind of run themselves around in circles. Oh yeah, live to serve, yay. Alright, and then just the bottom here to deal with, which is just 3 calves. Maybe I can bait this Mire and maybe this Elfire on the same turn. Let's see. Just in range. Oof, this guy's... The spear has the same range? Yeah. Except up north. Here. Oh, that's covered by this guy. Hard to pull them apart. I'm gonna have to initiate into them rather than bait them out. Good deal. How bad do these guys hit me? That's survivable. This guy is still a ways off. All of these guys are. No ballista on the general or anything stupid like that. I pretty much have free reign to take care of these guys. He would hit me even with 31. Can't get both of them, but I can get one. I did send that Master Seal back, so I could probably just promote Taylor the next turn. Should be, yeah, the guys up north, and then the one shaman. And then maybe the other two if they're in a group. Nice, good dodge. A lot more hit rate, but oh well. Much less damage. That's neat. The fighters are kind of splitting up those calves a little bit. Could actually do this if I wanted to be real cheeky. Can I one-shot them? No. Oh, they have exactly the same speed. Oh, you've got a tomahawk. I can actually draw at least one of these calves away. Probably don't want to take both of the tomahawk users too. They have tomahawks. My paladins aren't fast enough to double them either. May end up needing Cedri to tank something. Oh, you've got 19 skill. This light brand hurts quite a bit. See, I thought it was thought the formula was it targets res at close range and then half the damage at long range, but maybe it's half of its attack at long range. But the 13 still seems like too much for that range, for it to be just halved. That should only be 12. 12 or 9, it's still doing more than that. So alternatively, take out the Horse Slayer. My calves, my paladins can block off these guys. Huh. So these look like all ruins, but they're not all ruins. These 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 tiles are actually impassable by ground units. So how do my magic users fare? Actually, you can wall off pretty well. Let me do this. That does half of his health. That's even with his support. However, his personal skills should kick in after I damage him. And I guess I can finish off, well... 10, 10, 20, 39. So not all of them, but enough after a heal potentially. I know I got a lucky dodge last turn, but I still don't feel like I'm getting enough lucky dodges. Just unnecessary crits. If I put her here, that'll wall off the cav. Oh, except I'm just out of range to heal Marin. Actually, that cav can't reach my paladins anyway. So it's kind of moot. Cedri tanks both of these guys better than either of the paladins. It doesn't entirely seem right, but she's got a Voice of Peace on top of her 15 defense, so she effectively has 17 defense funny. Oh, you can still reach. $26, 14, 12 damage. Basically, the cab's gonna come in and target Aminda, so I just need to make sure Aminda's at full health. Is your chat not going through? That's a little weird, but okay. Get comfy. I want her to get more res again. I haven't actually visited that village yet. Now that I think about it, are any of these villages actually being threatened? Oh. Yeah. 0. Con is sealed. Not con, res. I had longbow him, but he can counterattack against longbows. Doesn't do enough damage there. No one can pick him up, unfortunately. Can bait both of them, but that might not be too bad. And you. Neither of those are great, but if I don't need to use Chrysalis, then I might as well save it. Seal Con. Accidentally smite him. Not that it would actually change too much in the next turn, but, well, it would leave his low speed even lower. Need to take a turn to let Cassius actually heal himself, because he's still at kind of a dangerous HP level. Kina's not great off either. Maybe I'll actually visit this house. Oh, an armor slaying weapon. A hammer. That was a old Sacred Stones boss. Not much else to do this turn. Could have repositioned Felix out of there, but I actually wanted him to tank these hits so I can get counterattacks. At least on the Merc. Alright. He didn't say it was his armor, just that it was a bulky armor. I just realize I still don't have a thief. Daly's got a pretty good stat spread. She's still only reduced this guy's accuracy to in the 40s. 34. Huh. I should be getting 44 avoid, but I'm actually only getting 39. I wonder if they tampered with the avoid formula, on top of my characters not being particularly fast. I'm not getting slowed down by an iron sword. Not getting stats sealed. 17 times 2 plus luck, 34, 44. And I'm actually only getting 39. That is 34 plus 5 though. So maybe it's twice your speed plus half your luck. He is not being slowed down, so 24 plus 7. Oh well, he's got a support though to mess with things. Alright, well, Taylor was getting the benefit of a support as well, and no, I'm not sure if this particular support gives out a void though. It might not. Looks to be, but we get a more isolated case. None of her supports are nearby. She's not close enough to benefit from any other characters, so... And again, Fordra's void here is pretty massive. She's not getting slowed down. 24, so she should be getting 24 from her speed, and then that's another 12. And yeah, that's not quite adding up either. She have is that it's not that Slayer, right? And not Resolve. No, that's not quite adding up either here. I don't have leadership stars, do I? Not any visible ones, at least. I suddenly somewhat regret stowing that Horse Slayer. But now it's going to take 2 people just to kill this Cav. Or I could leave it to Henley. Henley should be more than enough. And doesn't take damage. Excellent. I'm actually going to dance her and let her take care of the other one too, in that case. How am I doing on turns? Halfway? Yeah, that's doing pretty well. I may not have a surplus of turns at the end, but I'm not pressed for time yet. No nonsense Friday. Crits all day. No nonsense. So 24 crit rates from the support's pretty awesome. I'll use Marin here and then I can heal someone. No nonsense. You know, that one's kind of... It's supposed to. But, that's not... Now it looks like it does. Did they nerf the support range? Because they were within 3. And now she's getting that avoid now that Henley is closer. God, everyone's damaged. I mean, at least no one's in actual danger, but everyone's damaged. Okay. I don't think you can use that. It's a Steel Lance. Cassius making full use of every one of his 5 men staff uses. Still desperately trying to make Derek relevant. Just because if I don't, he's dead weight. Using 8 avoid. This was a sad combat for a Swordsmaster, being targeted with 79 accuracy and not doubling against an ordinary cav with a steel lance too. I know I weighed her down, but not by a ton. She's losing 3. This puts her at 11 speed. Meanwhile, he is losing 2. He's got 8, so yeah. Meanwhile, Derek has only his skill to go on. Hey, strength and speed. Still mediocre, but a step in the right direction at least. Yeah, I've seen, I mean, even my characters have pretty respectable con stats. Like Hina seems like she's a fairly small person. She's got 8. Fordra even is a... Fordra's probably my smallest at 6. Cedri's 7. Oh, wait, Aminda, the dancer with the no meat on her bones is 4. But my Peg Knights are 7 at smallest. Janessa's all the way. Janessa's 9 is actually ordinary for a Wyvern Knight, a female Wyvern Knight. I can do something about them now. Get some live to serve. No, not enough to fully heal her. I'd get another staff for Cassius, but I have no money. Both of these final holdouts have a mage hiding behind a row of ranged knights, which is actually a little bit of a tricky formation. They fortunately don't have wary fighter. That would be pretty evil. But you can't bait the mage. It's difficult to bait the mage out because they have almost the same range. This one. I am going to overlap with the Wyvern Knight. There's Rioter, pillage the Wyvern, the Wyvern stables, and even got on a mount, huh? I mean, horse riders too, but yeah, this. There is nowhere in this mage's range that isn't also in the range of another enemy. So, fortunately, he's not fast. He's got a 11 minus 3 is 8 speed. Oh, I just need a solid mixed tank. 27, 28. Both of these are spears too. The knight has ever so slightly less crit. Give him a rally. Give her a rally. Oh, patience. They're pretty much taken care of. I like seeing 0 damage. Enemy general con, I'll have to check next turn. Actually, both the mage and the general can't attack, so I guess that worked out for me. I was just had to be prepared to tank either instead of having to worry about tanking both. So I guess that was inadvertently the correct choice. Will any of the other ones down there? No, they don't move. But I might be able to bolting the Wyvern Rider. That might be worthwhile. Just not deal with him. No nonsense. Unfortunately, I don't have... The only person who's gonna be good at dealing with this knight is also too big for any of my characters here to rescue. Oh wait. Right, can pick him up. Good. Spin to win. He didn't move. Can't move after that? Oh, he doesn't have Kanto at all. Not great, but not terrible either. Could be worse. Ooh, Dragon Spear. So basically, one of these calves is going to come in, hit him, then the mage is going to come in and attack him, and he just has to. I just have to make sure he can tank both of those hits. I've got a defense rally to give him 16 defense, so the physical hit shouldn't be too big of a deal. enemies at full health. Slowed down, but not in danger of being doubled, I don't believe. He's got the iron bow, so that he doesn't counter. Doesn't change his, well, prevents the lance from potentially having weapon triangle advantage on him. That she's got a skill that benefits her from being close and a skill that benefits her from being far away from allies. Hey, another physique. Good. So I am going to ambitiously try to bait here. That's just this knight and this mage. Try to keep moving because I am on a turn limit. Should top off both of them. Exaggerate the skill. Do want to... Oh, okay, that's not actually a vendor. Despite what it says. See, this is Demoiselle, so it applies to male enemies, or allies. But I can give Charm. And then I just kind of have to 14, yeah. 10, 11. Good thing that Brayet's really fast. Can I actually do anything about you? Might as well bait the killing edge out too. Speed wings are good. I know a certain sword master that would really appreciate some more speed. They don't they technically overlap, but at their max range they can't both attack. Alright, now I'm kind of pushing it because I've got 2 turns left, maybe 3. 3. It should be this turn, next turn, and then the 10th turn. So gotta start pushing a little bit harder here. Gilbert can't reach anyone, but he can get close enough to lend his support. Which I will. I can't kill either. Can't really kill either of them. This will work. Actually, will a rally help? Because, well, I can get in range to dance Sedri. Basically try to clear these guys out this turn, and then focus on the boss up here, and then basically the same thing down below, just different enemies, different allies. So unfortunately the ones that really matter can't be danced again. Dance can't reach far enough. So how much can I ignore? I can actually probably ignore this Cav. Can't kill either of them with the javelin. I'm a little concerned that the short spear would not be would leave her not fast enough to double. He's got Elfire, so 9 speed. Short spear is 12. That's minus 4. 10. But with darting blow is 4? 5. So you could actually double with a short spear. Could also just hope for a crit. And it didn't happen. Oh well. So actually what I'm thinking is, how much more does 9, right? 3 more than the javelin, right? With 3 more might, I'm up to 19 attack, and that is enough to kill this guy. And he is far slower than the mage. Also enough to kill him, which might be slightly more in my favor. Maybe not, because I actually need to be able to potentially tank this hit, and I'm not sure that Taylor will be able to. Meanwhile, Henley's at full health. So now that Taylor can actually come in, kill this guy, and then I can dance Gilbert to finish off the mage, and then this top area will be clear except for the boss. This is why I'm glad I put boots on my dancer. Gilbert gets a level up. Alright, defense is good. He kind of needs the luck. And that is a rally. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting them to get a rally skill, huh? Alright, and then as for this bottom part, steel blade. Push up that damage anymore. I have to use Eldrini. Eldenari. And he still hasn't had a chance to heal himself. So this is just the dragon spear. Oops, rallied by accident. Not too big of a deal though. I didn't quite clear out that corner like I wanted to this turn, but the enemy phase took care of it. And then the one cav still. Which Felix can finish off by himself. It's actually gonna, unfortunately, take me a turn to get to the boss down here. Spear and a tomahawk. I do have an armor slayer. No surprise advantage, right? Oh, I have to check the con on this general as per request. 17, and he has Wary Fighter. He's not super slow either. Sounds like a bolting job. That's not great. What's that? Enemies have res and I don't. It's alright. All is not lost. I do have a hammer. Yeah. The armor slayer as well. Not great, but also not fatal. Yeah, nothing even comes close. She will get, if she gets hit, she will get Wrath. No skills that aren't already active. So, I should actually, he could hit me twice and I'd still survive with 1 hit point. Right, 18 is 36. So I can actually initiate on them. The class description is going to say he still has Great Shield, which I'm not going to kill him in 2 hits unless I crit anyway. And I got the crit on the first hit. Okay. Taken care of. Good work, Kina. Get some speed. Gosh. Wow. And now I've got all turn to take care of this one. Though, like, everyone's hurt. He's a fast one. He's probably the hardest. He's gonna be the hardest one actually, because he's fast and defensive and resistant. Didn't I get someone with a seal skill? Or am I thinking of something? I think I'm remembering something else. Got a house to visit here too still. Got that one, not that one. Got this one. So we can get him to switch to his sword so that Taily can clash with him with the killer lance. I think that's going to be my best bet. Still not going to be fast enough to double. He is slowed down by 1, so he's still got 20 attack speed. And even with a rally plus 2 to her speed, she's only getting 19. She needs 1 speed from somewhere. Charm. incidentally, she's the one that has spur speed herself. I was thinking of whether I could use that, and unfortunately, she's the one who wants it the most too. Wonder if I can put him to sleep. Let's give this a try. 73 is not bad. It's just whether or not that his the spot that he's standing on is enough like a throne to actually cure him. This is what I think of his stat spread. Oh well, that was weapon triangle disadvantage. Unfortunately, I can't rally with Gilbert and attack with Marin at the same time. He fell asleep because it's Saturday now and the nonsense has ended. I suppose I can try this. Hey, chip damage. Hey, nice, crit. I forgot to visit that village. Hang on, I've got a save state. Was not expecting that crit. Alright, this time with village visitation. I actually really appreciate that. I'm glad I went back for it, because sleep has been really useful in this game. No, he's probably not going to crit, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, I can still lump damage on him. Oh, can't use that. Okay. Done. Okay. Worth it. Alright. Seen worse level ups. Why is this heal suddenly grayed out? Monster's Shadow. I'm gonna preview this and then we'll tackle it next week or so. Who is Dan? what city are we sieging all of a sudden? I thought we were attacking a cult that was like everywhere. Feather blades. Speak of the angel. That's an interesting mug. Do find it interesting from like an ideological standpoint that our enemies are the ones that are fighting against slavery. I guess part of where we disagree is there on our methods, and we have reason to believe that they're not quite as humane about things as they are claiming based on the monster experimentation, but at the same time, usually the player characters try to be morally righteous on that side of the argument. Not that our player characters are advocating slavery by any means, but solid barbarian. Looks like our next chapter is an acquired taste. We will. That's kind of a morose way of saying don't die to your only child. Was the degeneration named prior to this chapter, and the monk character, the wizard in the chapter start? I wonder. I don't remember it being specifically named, just that she was ailed by something. But again, there've been some chunks between time playing this, so it might have, and I just forgot. Pat, no. I see a lot of promoted enemies, and actually nothing but promoted enemies. That is quite a jump. At least they're jealous of this bishop's res. They're not super oppressive, but they will be a jump in difficulty. Wow, there's a mage in the middle of the mountains with no access to anywhere. Wonder if he's carrying a siege tome. It does. Silver weapons as expected. This guy's got quite a bit of stuff on him. Be neat if I could steal some of it. It's actually pretty strong too. Death blow. Oh, right, and Deathblow is crit in these games. Though, don't 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 let him initiate on me. There's no baiting him. Berserkers. A little better. More siege tomes. At least it's a Eclipse. These spreading on these mountains could look better. I see what they're attempting, but it still needs a little bit of work. Not gonna lie, it seems really crowded around my front, and like, I know I have access to these guys as much as they have access to me, but the enemies are strong. They're only ever so slightly weaker than my units on average. Gotta make sure I get Hans a bow. He can help with these flyers. Gonna have to dedicate a flyer to take out you. And I can probably ignore you for the first turn. Fimbulvetter. The bolting is alright. That's reasonably placed. Enough that I have to be wary of my initial assault, but not everything on my immediate area can be targeted. Though the staggering of units continues to be pretty brutal. Anyone that takes out these guys has to be able to tank him and this guy. Well, if I take out the warrior from range, I won't have to deal with him. He's got a sword too. But this is a puzzle for next week. Bolting in the shop. Not that I have any money to afford it, but... Windsword. It's a funny joke. There is a white gem. That's good. Berserk staff. And he can technically use, but it's not showing me his range. I figured I'd be dealing with one of those sooner or later. What chapter is this? This is... I don't know what chapter this is. 12. Is in Sacred Stones, right around... It's not the Homecoming chapter, is it? I think it's right around the, either the desert or the chapter right before the desert. If I'm remembering correctly. So there's only 20 chapters total in Sacred Stones. No, wait, the Homecoming is 16, because the Serene is 17 in the river. "12 might actually be even earlier. 12 is like Ghost Ship, or the port after the Ghost Ship. Well, I suppose making comparisons isn't totally valid since the lead up to this point has been different. Barrier. But we've really flipped a switch with this one. Suddenly all pre-promotes and forts on the mountain to promise more reinforcements too. But that, as I said, is for next week. Thank you for tuning in. and I might do Saturday next week if that works. Depends on if I'm wanting to try hitting Gamers Heaven for fighting games on Friday or not. I don't know. I'll post in Discord when I have a better idea of what I'm planning to do. But anyway, thanks again, and have a good night.